Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over another build that I did. This is another solar battery that I did a little while ago. If you saw my other video, you saw that I made a bigger solar battery using these 60 amp hour lithium iron phosphate cells. I had about 16, 17 of them for another project. So I built a 12 volt solar battery, which I did show in another video. And I have another solar battery that I built using the same exact cells. But this particular build, the goal was to make it as small as possible. So if you remember looking at the other one, the device was bigger. It was in a like a toolbox, bigger, heavier, all that kind of stuff. So the goal with this particular build was to make it as small as possible. Let's take a look. Okay, so first we'll take a look at the side here, look at the outside and see what we have going on. There's really not that much. It's only really a couple things. The first thing that you'll notice is that I did build it in an ammo can. This was the absolute perfect size. It fits perfectly in here, which you'll see in a moment. And it's just a nice, convenient, safe way to carry it. So the main business that you'll see right here on the side is all the power outputs, right? So this is the same block that you saw on my other video. I had two of these blocks on there. Here I only have one. It does have a voltage readout here, so I can see the current status of the battery and what level it's at. If I flip it open, you can see I do have two USB ports that I can use. And then down below that, I do have a standard 12 volt cigarette lighter, like car socket right here. Now, if I flip over to the other side, you'll see there's only one thing over here that should start looking familiar. You see it in a lot of my builds, is this XT90 connector. Now, with this connector here, similar to the other battery I built, I can hook a solar panel into this to charge it. I can hook my 20 amp DC to DC charger to this, so I can charge from another battery. But the other reason for this is this particular unit does not have an integrated charger like the other one does, so I do have a separate charger, AC charger, to charge this up with. Right, and that's the thing to note on this one, is this is DC only. This is a DC only build. So if we take a look at the top here, we can take a look at the inside. And here is the inside. So if we want to get a little bit of a closer look. All right, so we have a little bit of a closer look here of the inside of the battery. So you'll notice a couple things right off the bat. One is I do have the batteries fit perfectly here, right? You can see this is the cell. It fits perfectly in here. And when you stack four of these up, it comes pretty much to the top there. So it is close. So you'll see actually I left these with the straps that I put in to set it in here. I left them in here so I can pull it back out. The other thing you might notice right away, you might be wondering about, is what this is. Some of you may already know. This is fish paper, also known as cellulose paper. That's a hard word. Cellulose paper. This is basically non-conductive material that I lined the entire box. Remember, I put this in an ammo can, which is made of metal. So that was the first thing I did, is I made sure everything was covered with this. So when it's in here and it's closed, there is nothing is touching or can touch the exterior metal of this case, which was pretty important. So you can see it's, like I said, pretty tight fit here. All right, so if we get a little bit of a closer view here in a second, you can see right off the bat the BMS. This is almost the exact same BMS that I used in my other build. This one does not have the Bluetooth unit. Wasn't really necessary in this case. But you can see I do have a, I believe it's a 60, I have to even look, I can't remember offhand. I believe it's just a 60 amp, that same 60 amp breaker that I had in the other one. And then you can see the rest of the XT90 here. So there's really not that much to the inside of this one. It is pretty small and compact. Right, so you can see not as much going on with this one. It is very, very simple. It's just the battery. It's just the BMS with just a breaker. I believe I also have, I think I just have the breaker. And then this, the power unit on the front and then on the back here. And that was really it. Nice and simple. Right, so then we close it back up here. Just generally how it sits. There's generally never a reason to open this guy. And that's the build. Well, thank you for joining me on this build overview today. Like I said, I do have some of these cells left over, so I am planning on possibly doing a 24 volt, 60 amp hour build. That one I will do an integrated charger with the integrated inverter. I'll be able to put a larger inverter on that one. So if you're interested in seeing that build, please go ahead and put the comments below, like, subscribe to the video. Thank you guys so much for joining me today on The Hobbyist. I'm your host, Benjamin Blood. Let's build something amazing together.